Welcome back. 2001 Buick Park Avenue, one of my cars. Engine light came on the other day. Pulled the code, P0440 Evap code. Don't know what it is yet. Could be vent solenoid, could be gas cap, could be purge valve, could be a leak. I don't know yet. So we're just going to go through and see what we find. I'm going to start with the purge valve, just because it's the easiest thing to get to. And I'm going to try to do this without the use of scan tools as much as possible, because I realize a lot of people don't have them. They have a bi-directional scanner. Testing some of these things are much easier, and really the only way to really test them correctly. But there's some tests you can do without that kind of equipment, so we're going to go through and see what we find. Alright, so purge valve is actually under this cover in the front of this, right on near the front head. So we're just going to take this cover off and set it out of the way. And here's your purge valve. Hopefully you can see that right there. Give it a little more light than. So you have the evap line coming in from the evap system, and then you have a line that runs to the engine. In this case, it runs to throttle body. You want to check this side. I have a vacuum pump, so these can be a little bit of a pain. You have to squeeze this connector to get it to release. See if I can do it by hand. If not, I'll get a pair of pliers and do it. You can just squeeze them and get a pair of pliers. Yeah, so hopefully you can see that there's just two little tabs to stick down. You squeeze this together to release those tabs off of that ferrule there. So I'm just going to take a vacuum pump. This is a pretty inexpensive tool. If you're going to do any work on cars, you probably need to get one. Good thing to have. I'm just going to slide it on. Now, understand the purge valve normally is closed. So it should hold vacuum on the side that runs to the engine. And I'm going to just show you this as much as I can. Hopefully get it where you can see it. And you can see, so this is making it easy for me. This should hold vacuum, and it's not. It's completely bad. The diaphragm in here is bad, so this is bad. Is there anything else that's bad? I have no idea. Don't know yet, but we're going to definitely have to fix this. So we're just going to pull this off. It's one electrical connector. I'm going to release that connector. And then there's the other line that says a metal. You just spread these apart and it pops off. This has a, sometimes this is tough to get off. This one's not. It's all gunked up on the back. There's a little tab here. It just slides up off of that bracket. And that's it. So get another one. Now here's the new one. Here's the new one right here. So it goes in like this. Let me get this right. Yeah, it goes in like this. So this doesn't really matter. It should hold vacuum, just like we tested on the other one. If I put this on here, the vacuum gauge on there, show you the gauge. And you see that one holds vacuum and it's not bleeding down. That's what it should do. So this one's good. Should be. It's brand new, but brand new doesn't always mean it's going to be good. You bend that tab back out, this little metal tab. So it'll hold it in place. Slide the new one on. Actually put the connector on first, it's a little easier. Connector, slide it in place. Locked in. Hook my lines back up. And that's it for that fix. Pretty easy. I mean, this was a simple one. If this wasn't my car and it was somebody else's car, I would also test the vent solenoid to make sure it didn't have a problem while I was doing this. And what you should do is clear your code. If you have a simple scanner, you can clear your codes. If you don't have higher end scanner where you can't see the readiness monitors or anything, you need to drive it for a couple days probably. Let it go through its cycle to reset the readiness monitors. If your light doesn't come back on, then that fixed the problem. If it does come back on, you have another issue. You have either a leak somewhere or a bad vent solenoid or gas cap or something like that. But in this case, I think it's just the purge valve that was causing problems, obviously bad. It's a quick fix. Something simple to do. You don't really need a lot of tools. You do need at least a basic scanner to clear the code and to look at the code, or take it to a lot of auto parts stores will just read the codes for you. So you can do that. In a couple days, we'll know whether or not this was the only problem. If the light comes back and the readiness monitors don't reset, then we'll go further and do some more investigation and see if we had a second problem. There's one other thing you can do if you don't have a vacuum pump. So this is the side that we put the vacuum gauge on earlier. Or vacuum gauge, I said vacuum pump, vacuum gauge. This side, if the diaphragm is good, you shouldn't be able to blow through this side and get any air through it. So I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but this is the bad one. There's air getting through there, it shouldn't be. So that can also tell you that the diaphragm is bad. It's another way to check it if you don't have a vacuum pump. Well, that's it. Real simple. In this case, I didn't know initially looking at what the issue would be. A real simple problem, and I just went for the easiest thing to get to. The vent solenoid's by the gas tank under the car. A little harder to get to, not a big deal, but this is the easiest thing to get to. The purge valve's right there, so I went for that first. Real easy check. Literally took a minute, and it's bad. So as I said before, we'll see if the light comes back on. I can check with the scanner that I have, the readiness monitors, and it'll run the cycle in the next day or so, and I'll know whether or not there's another issue. If so, then I'll probably go to the vent solenoid next, test that. I'll try to link in. I have another video where I test a vent solenoid and the wiring going to it for another GM, Suburban. It's basically the same. So I'll link that in if you will need to test your vent solenoid, at least your wiring to the vent solenoid. It'll show you how to do that. If you have to do this, you have this code. I hope it helps you out. If you like the video, subscribe below. Thanks for watching.